Hello, this is Tikva from Homeopathy for Humanity with Sanjay from Homeopathy for Humanity, and we are continuing with our Organon session.
Yeah. So today we are uh, learning about aphorism number 35.
35, 36.
And from here, Hanuman actually grouped the aphorism 1, 2, and 3 sections. And just remember this section, what he explains in number 1, what he explains in number 2, and number 3.
Yes, last week in Aphorism 34, we talked about how the medicine needs to be the most similar.
Yeah. So we will, okay. Screen number 1. Can anybody is able to see?
Yes, but you have to open the PDF.
Good. Okay, is it readable?
Nope, we're still looking at your screen.
Which screen?
The blue screen with the desktop.
Oh my God. Let me see. Something 1 and 2. Okay. Now,
Yeah, there we go.
is it readable?
Yep, got it. Everybody else see it?
Oh, okay.
Yes, we see it.
In this aphorism, actually, what he's tried to explain with some examples. How similar and dissimilar medicine meet together in a one person. In first case, he will talk about similar. In second case, he will talk about dissimilar. And among them, again, he make 2 sections. When first disease is stronger, and second, when second disease is stronger. In similar cases, and again in other section in dissimilar cases. Okay? Tikwa, please continue.
In order to illustrate this, to illustrate means to show. In order to illustrate this, we shall consider in 3 different cases as well what happens in nature when 2 dissimilar natural diseases meet to one person, as also the result of the ordinary medical treatment of diseases with unsuitable allopathic drugs, which are incapable of producing an artificial morbid condition similar to the disease cured, whereby it will appear that even nature herself is unable to remove a dissimilar disease already present by one that is unhomeopathic, even though it be stronger. And just as little is the unhomeopathic employment of even the strongest medicines ever capable of curing any disease whatsoever. Well, that's a whole lot of fancy words, right, guys?
Now
So what does he
simple.
really say? Yeah, so I just sum that up with examples will be shown on how dissimilar disease and dissimilar medicine don't care because they can't create a stronger, similar, artificial morbid disease. That's pretty
Okay.
much what all those fancy words mean. That we're
In
going to
this
show.
part, we see he's talking about dissimilar diseases meet together in a one person. And even though the later one is stronger, it will not able to cure. Even when there is a natural dissimilar disease, and even when you are using unhomeopathic dissimilar uh, remedy or medicine, it will not cure, even if the later one is stronger one. What that means? Tikwa?
That if it's not similar, that it's not going to cure.
Yeah. If it is not similar, it is not going to cure.
Right. We need to be able to apply a medicine that is not only similar, but more dynamic than the natural disease as well. So you have two different points. You have the similarity that's important, and then you have the dynamic. Yes. So if a medicine is both similar and more dynamically active, then we have a chance to cure it.
When he used the word, this word, unhomeopathic. Unhomeopathic means which is not similar. When symptoms are not matching. Or whether you are using a remedy that is not dynamic.
Yeah, like for example, if you're going to use one of those anti-medicines, like, antipyretic, antibacterial, antifungal, it's not dynamically stronger and it's not similar, it's just some kind of other, medicine has progressed so that they're not just using herbs and other substances, but they're using different chemicals in order to try to override the natural functions of the body. And so medicine has changed a little bit like that, where they give a lot of things to try to change the biochemistry and alter biochemistry. And there's a lot of that going on. And that still is not homeopathic.
Right. That's all we see in this aphorism, where he says, if the remedy is not homeopathic, in accordance to similarity and in accordance to a dynamic. Even if the remedy is a stronger one, it will not cure. A simple example, and now we can, Tiba, do you have anything more to comment on this aphorism?
No, I don't have anything else to say about it. I think that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Now we have another section, aphorism number 36, where he talks if the two dissimilar diseases meeting together in human being be of equal strength, or still more if the older one is stronger and new disease will, means what happen when there are two dissimilar diseases. If older is stronger or first one is stronger, how the body will respond or how that remedy will respond. That example is here. Can you read it? Hello?
A patient suffering from a severe chronic disease will not be infected by a moderate autumnal dysentery or other epidemic disease. The plague of the Levant, according to Larry, does not break out where scurvy is prevalent, and persons suffering from eczema are not affected by it. Okay, so the plague of the Levant, according to Larry, is an interesting thing because this was a episode of bubonic plague that started in the Levant. The Levant is where we live, that's the Middle East. And bubonic plague started up there during Crusader time. And there's a reference to bubonic plague starting in the Middle East, along the Mediterranean coast, specifically in Egypt in 541 Christian era. So this was during the Crusader. So Hahnemann does his research. But this is one of the episodes of bubonic plague that then came from Egypt, then spread up through where we live, up through Lebanon, and all over the place as Crusaders traveled and all that, right? So it was really a catastrophe. So Hahnemann says here that bubonic plague does not break out. And the only reason why they know it's bubonic plague is because of the authors of the day. The authors of the day were describing the disease. Just like how when coronavirus started here and on the world and we're all kind of talking back and forth about what the disease, what the symptoms are, how to treat it and what to do. Same thing happened here in this historic reference where writers were writing to, doctors and other people were writing to each other saying what the symptoms are and what to do about it. And so Hahnemann tells us that bubonic plague does not break out where scurvy is prevalent, and persons suffering from eczema are not affected by it. So he's saying that these are dissimilar diseases. But that's interesting. People who have scurvy aren't getting enough vitamin C. And people with eczema probably have flora, which is very interesting. So when two dissimilar diseases meet in the body, the older, stronger disease will keep it away. A patient suffering from a severe chronic disease will not be infected by moderate autumnal dysentery or other epidemic disease. So moderate autumnal dysentery would be, a contagious diarrhea that happens in the fall. They used to kill a lot of people back in the olden days. So a severe disease prevents a minor disease. And then we have, so under ordinary medical treatment, an old chronic disease remains uncured and unaltered if it is treated according to the common allopathic method. That is to say, with medicines that are incapable of producing in healthy individuals a state of health similar to the disease, even though the treatment should last for years and is not too violent of a character. And then the footnote here is, this is daily witnessed in practice. Therefore, it is unnecessary to give illustrative examples. But if treated with violent allopathic remedies, other diseases will be formed in its place, which are more difficult and dangerous to life. So we know that chronic disease remains uncured unless a stronger, similar disease is produced by homeopathic treatment. Chronic disease stays or remains when treated by allopathy. We see this in practice. When aggressive, violent allopathic medicines are used, other diseases will be formed in the place, which are more difficult and dangerous to life. The stronger suspends the weaker. So we know that to cure a disease, we need a most similar medicine available, that can create an artificial disease that is stronger than a natural disease. The properly proven medicine must be able to produce a disease most similar to the existing natural disease. The stronger natural disease will displace and extinguish a natural disease. The medicine needs to be proven most similar to the symptom. The unusual or characteristic symptoms are best, and the best matching to the proving data. No previously existing disease can be cured by a dissimilar disease, even a strong one, and it cannot be cured by medical treatment with drugs that are incapable of producing a similar morbid condition in a healthy body. Similar is cure.
Okay. So what is the comment on this 36? Hello?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and sum it up for us?
1 minute, 1 minute. So personal note, anybody?
No, sir.
Sandhya?
Hello. Hello. I'm
Ha,
audible.
yeah.
I'm asking ki when the means wrong homeopathy medicines given is also produce the dissimilar disease.
Okay.
So it is not curable or curable. Yeah, means what happened then?
See, what he is talking about, when he is talking about two dissimilar diseases,
Yeah.
and he has clearly made the difference. What is dissimilar? Dissimilar in the state, dissimilar in the similarity. Huh? If they are not matching, symptoms are not matching. Another one, and one is dynamic and the other one is a material one. Huh? And now he is talking about a natural disease, two natural diseases when they meet in a one person. Two dissimilar diseases meeting together in a human being of equal strength, or still more if the older one be a stronger and new will be repelled by the older one. Means if the latter is stronger, that will repel the disease, but it will not cure. by older one from the body and not allowed to affect the older, the new disease will show all the symptoms and the previous one will not will able to show its symptom. Can we say, is it type of suppression? Tikwa, what do you say?
Suppression?
In the first paragraph 36.
I don't think there's suppression going on here. I think that it's not conducive for the body to accept both diseases at the same time. That the older
No, no, what he means by the these words. The older one is one be the stronger and new disease will repel by older one from body and not allowed to affect.
Yeah, to repel means to push away.
It will push away. It will not allowed to enter. If the older one is stronger. And if the older one is weaker,
And new disease will enter in the body and produce the symptoms.
yeah. That part we can study in the other aphorism also.
Yeah, in Aphorism 37, it's going to be very, very long and intricate with a lot of information about similars and dissimilars.
This is a very important part we need to understand. We need to understand it is not a one disease the patient or person is going to have. He may have multiple disease. He may have a multiple medicine. He is not coming to a homeopath with a pure totality of symptom. He is like soup, ingredient soup. He may have encountered more than 2 episodes of diseases, which may be a dissimilar one. Even the medicine. So picture of natural disease may not be exact what we are expecting as an ideal homeopathic case. The patient suffering from severe chronic disease will not be infected by the moderate autoimmune dysentery or other epidemic diseases. Why this happens? When there is a disease which is already with the stronger characters, then the other natural diseases which are not similar to the main character may not able to affect the person if they are weaker. Right? So, any questions?
No, it's all about similars cure. The most similar medicine will cure, and that the stronger natural disease can suspend a weaker disease,
Mhm.
Do in a dissimilar disease, the older, stronger disease will keep away a lesser disease, and that we see, like Hahnemann says, in daily work that dissimilars don't cure people. And the management of symptoms by allopathy doesn't cure people. We see this in daily practice. People can say that they have allergies, right? And they can be taking their anti-allergy medicine, whatever it is, their Allegra or whatever it happens to be, whatever brand of their anti-allergy medicine. But they stop taking their allergy medicine and their allergy comes right back. So it's just suppressing the symptom. It's not curing it. So it doesn't make it to go away. But let's say a patient comes into the clinic and we see that they need health carb or arsenicum or something else. We can actually make those allergies disappear. We can cure it with the most similar medicine, whatever it may happen to be in the individual situation.
Mhm.
So that's why he says that we don't even need to mention it because we see it daily in practice. How if we can make somebody's symptoms get better with a pill, it's not making them well, it's just changing the biochemistry or overriding the symptoms, a lot of different things. Of how the what do you call it? Pharmodynamic? Is that the right word? Pharmacokinetic action of medicines, that kind of thing. Can't think of the right word. So yeah.
Biodynamic?
Hmm?
Biodynamic?
No, the pharmacokinetics, whatever kind of thing. I can't remember the right word for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I read a lot of different like journals and different things that they do nowadays with research. It's a lot of fun. How they're getting ready to use CRISPR to use, gene splicing in order to treat various things. And it's very, very interesting. I wonder what's going to happen in the future with this. But yes, generally, medicine these days is an override of the natural system,
Right.
which leaves the disease uncured. It's still there once people stop taking their pill.
Yeah, it's not cure. It will not cure. Though sometimes, and further we will also learn what if the new disease or artificial disease which you are giving is more stronger and it is dissimilar. Like we see in modern medicines, they are more stronger and they are not similar. What happened? That part is also very interesting. In this section, which we studied today, he says, when a natural disease, new disease is weaker than a previous one, which is already there in the body. That previous disease is much stronger, the newer disease is much weaker, and they are not similar. Then he says, new disease will not allow to affect the body. It will repel, it will not enter. Right? Any questions?
No.
Gunjan?
No, sir.
And who is there? Another? Shana Sultana. Oh, nice to see her after a long time.
Good evening. all.
Any questions, Shana?
No, sir.
Keshav?
No, sir. No any question.
Or you can answer questions.
Or we could be done because you've had a very, very long day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I just tried to jump from car and enter the clinic for this meeting.
Yep, so we could just finish up early tonight. And God willing, next week we will resume with Aphorism 37, which is a long and festive one. Okay, guys?
Okay, ma'am. Thanks
Okay.
to both.
Okay, see you
Okay,
next
ma'am.
time.
Thank you.
Joining us.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.